All right, day 9, the end of the defense case, and something else that happened at the end of the defense case was Kellen Winslow II decided not to testify, and that was our 13th juror question. Are you surprised Kellen Winslow did not testify? Only 14% of you were surprised today. 86% of you were not, and that's about right because most of the time criminal defendants do not testify. So I guess we should never be surprised that they don't, but this was a little different because the defense was in fact consent. So that didn't happen today, but other things did happen. But who had a better day today? Was it the prosecution or was it the defense? Let's bring back in our think tank to get a verdict on today's proceedings. And we begin with Vic Bajaj, who's out in San Diego, great criminal defense attorney. Who had the better day, prosecution or defense?
Well, it's the defense case. The defense had a better day. They were allowed to raise two important issues that may have some weight at the end of the day. That's Dennis Sesma's recreation of the route that occurred, which leaves a lot to be desired on certain parts by the prosecution, as well as a colorable argument that this is, in fact, a money grab vis-a-vis the witness testimony regarding the GoFundMe account.
All right, Rachel Kaufman, criminal defense attorney. Who had the better day, prosecution or defense?
I'm going to go ahead and agree with the defense. I think because it was their day to present evidence, I think that they got in the things that they wanted to get in to set themselves up for tomorrow, which is going to be their closing argument. And hopefully it will, I guess, rein it all in and they'll be able to convince the jury that he's not guilty or that the state has not proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt. But today was a good day for them to have gotten some of those things knocked off their list that they're going to want to bring up tomorrow.
All right, Lieutenant Colonel Adam Lee, Assistant Chief Jailer, Fulton County, former Commander of Major Crimes at the APD. We see you from the first 48. Who had a better day, prosecution or defense?
I wholeheartedly agree with everyone that's spoken so far. The defense did a very good job of attacking the credibility of all of the victims. There was no one there that could come forward and say, this definitely happened. I have a witness here. Their questionable lifestyle. I even made note of, maybe the defense should have had the daughter come to court dressed a little better. That's one thing I would do. If I had a witness, I would have my witness come to court, not in a camouflage jacket. Jurors look at things like that. Jurors take note of what you look like, how you appear, and first impressions are very important to a jury.
All right, Ray Giudice.
Yeah, just on a note, I found myself trying to figure out what she had tattooed on her knuckles because I noticed that she sort of covered it up. I think the defense ended on a pretty good note, certainly not a bad note where they went home and had to soak their head in ice water. I think they've set themselves up, as pointed out, for a couple of very powerful themes in closing. And if they can win the case, it's in closing by showing all of the inconsistencies in the state's case in each witness, slice them up one at a time, and then argue what the government of the great state of California, the big bear on the seal, couldn't do this, couldn't do a forensic on the Hummer, couldn't recreate the fence scene, couldn't bring this fellow that says he was there during this sexual attack. They couldn't even bring him to court or explain why they couldn't get him to court. Did he pass away? Is he in China? Who knows? I think it's the state's fallacies that lend to the defense closing that you'll see tomorrow. All
right, I'm going to disagree with everyone. I'm going to say the prosecution, and the reason I'm going to say it is missed opportunity. Kellen Winslow II didn't testify. He could have testified. We've seen him speak before. This is someone who grew up in the spotlight, knows what it's like to have some pressure on him. And he didn't tell the jury he didn't do it. He didn't tell the jury it was consensual, which would have just added so much fuel to the closing arguments. I know there are risks, folks. I understand that. But all that bad information about him pretty much already came out. So I don't know how much worse it could get. So I'm going to say prosecution, but we'll see.